What if you could get into medical school years before earning your first undergrad degree? What if you could worry less about interviews and MCATs and instead just focus on going to college? Drury University's pre-acceptance program gives high-achieving students that very opportunity, thanks to a history of academic excellence and deep ties with 5 prestigious med schools across Missouri.
For me, it was extremely exciting and so much easier than going through the normal process of having to do all the different things that you have to do to get into medical school and all the hoops that you have to jump through.
Dr. Laura Waters was accepted to the St. Louis University School of Medicine at the beginning of her junior year at Drury. While many of her classmates were scrambling to study for the MCAT and traveling to interviews, Waters was simply focused on making good grades.
That was a big relief and a big burden off because I already knew I was going to medical school. So at that point, there's so much more enjoyment in school because all you got to do is work on the stuff that you're working on and not have to stress about all the other things that comes along with that.
In addition to SLU, Drury has relationships with medical schools at the University of Missouri, UMKC, the Kansas City University of Medicine, and A.T. Still University in Kirksville. Most of the necessary steps for the early acceptance program are ones students would take anyway. They just do them a little bit earlier and commit to maintaining certain academic standards.
I wrote a personal statement, which you're going to write in your junior year anyway, so I just wrote it a little bit early, which was fine. I did an interview, which I went in thinking, hey, this is just practice. I mean, at least for me, it was pretty much a no-brainer. It's not really a risk that you're taking. If you don't get in, you don't get in, and all you have is experience for when you go and do it for real at the end of your junior year. So really it's just an opportunity that is here that you're not going to find many other places, and I think not taking advantage of it would be silly.
Why would you work harder to go to a school that you don't know anything about and a school that doesn't have as good of a track record with medical schools? I think that's a big deal. I picked Drury because they have such a great track record with medical schools. Every student they get from here, medical schools love them, so they almost like it's preferential treatment towards Drury because they know exactly what kind of product they're getting. Almost like if you draft someone out of Alabama, you know what I mean? You know Nick Saban worked with those people. You know they're going to be good in the NFL.
Even if you don't get into one of the early acceptance programs, your rate of getting into one of those schools is going to be so much greater because they've already got those relationships established and know what kind of student that comes from Drury.
There won't be any waiting around for Drury senior SHELBY LARSON, who was headed to UMKC in 2016. She won't soon forget the day her acceptance letter arrived.
I was nervous, but it was like nervous, excited, anxious, all of those emotions kind of wrapped up all together. Because of all the hard work I've put in and, you know, the long hours of studying and spending all my time in the TSC just finally paid off. I just felt like 100 pounds were lifted off my shoulders. It was one of the best feelings I've ever had.